Good morning, everyone. Or it might not be morning for you, so hello. Welcome to Gentle Flow. We have 45 minutes together. So please make sure that you are in a space where you've got a little bit of room around you, ideally a mat, a yoga mat, or a towel or something that you can place down. Or a surface, I suppose, that you'll be comfortable to move and flow on. What else will we need? Perhaps a blanket. I've got a blanket here with me today. You may like to use that just to support you in some of your shapes. I will show you some examples as we go along how that may assist you. A pillow, a cushion, a bolster, if you do have one. That's just a fancy name for a big puffy yoga pillow. So a cushion or a couple of cushions will be fine if you have those in your home as well. So my name is Kylie, if we haven't met before. Welcome to my Gentle Flow class with you, or I suppose I should say your Gentle Flow class. So we're going to begin today in a lying down position. You can start your practice seated if you would prefer to. I'm going to stay sitting up just to talk to you as we begin to check in with ourselves, as we begin to settle into our practice before we start moving. But I invite you now to lie down onto your mat if that's something you're comfortable with. And when you arrive down onto your mat, just closing down your eyes here and taking a little bit of time at the beginning of our class to check in with how we're feeling on all levels. So how you're feeling physically, how you're feeling mentally, how you're feeling emotionally. And that's just for you, for no one else, for you to begin to create that deeper awareness straight away in your class of how you're feeling today, and what kind of energy you've got with you, how you may choose to move through your class. It's really important to know how you're feeling, or at least to be able to kind of think about how you might be feeling before you do something. So noticing here now, what is it that's standing out for you most? Is it the physical body? Are you feeling really tight, sore perhaps? Maybe you can just notice some sensation, some heartbeat. Maybe your heart's beating quite fast today. Maybe it's slow and chilled. Or perhaps it's the mind is really busy. You've had a busy day at work, or you've not slept very well last night. You might have had a really good sleep and you're feeling really energetic and ready to take on your day. And perhaps there's some emotions that are feeling quite strong for you here as you begin to check in. And just without any judgment, just acknowledging what they are. And then let's begin to scan the physical body. So we'll check in with how our body's feeling before we begin to move it into different shapes. So you can scan from the head all the way down to the tips of your fingers, the tips of your toes, or perhaps the other way from the toes up through the body up to the crown of the head. Just visualizing that scan. So eyes closed down, searching around the body, noticing any areas that might feel tight. You might already be aware of some tension in your body, and you can add a little bit of movement. I like to kind of move and see if I can feel areas that might be feeling a little bit stiff that perhaps you're not aware of as you first come into this class. You might become more aware of things as we begin to move in different ways. So just keeping this sense of curiosity, I suppose, with you as you practice today. And just remembering to always look after your body. So this is your yoga practice. I'm here to guide you through different shapes, through different movements. We'll move gently, as this is a gentle flow class. But ultimately, how you move is up to you. And please do not worry about what I may look like in a shape versus what you may look like in a shape, because our bodies are completely different. So we'll probably repeat this every single time that we meet. But it's just something that's so important to know, that yoga is not about what you look like in your shapes. It's about how you feel, or what you're feeling, what you're sensing, and creating that deeper awareness of that. So really just focusing on how something feels for you. If it does not feel good, if it feels really sharp, uncomfortable pain, come out straight away. If it feels just a little bit, uncomfortable, but you can sense that is releasing some tension in your body, then that might be perfect and right for you to do. So feel free to get a little creative if your body is not welcoming something that we've come into. I will try to give options as best as I can as well. So let's check in with our breath here. What's the quality of your breath like today? Does the breath feel like it comes with ease to you? Does the breath feel like it's really tight, a little bit shallow? Maybe it's fast. What pace are you breathing at? Without trying to change that breath, just noticing what that natural breath feels like for you today. Noticing every inhale breath in through your nose. Noticing the air as you exhale out through your nose. So breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. But again, if this is not comfortable for you, opening your mouth to exhale. Breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the nose. Noticing the air, where can you feel that? What sensations can you feel as you inhale? Notice the breath as you exhale. What sensations can you feel as you exhale? Perhaps you can notice temperature of the air as you inhale in through your nostrils. Perhaps you can gently feel that air on the upper lip as you exhale out through your nose. Does the air feel cooler when you inhale and warmer when you exhale? Can you notice any temperature differences? And then let's place one hand onto chest, one hand onto belly. It's a little bit of feedback as we begin to deepen and lengthen our breaths here. So inhale in through your nose, send that breath into the chest. Perhaps the rib cage can expand out, and then the belly can expand up. And then exhale, release the air from the belly, from the ribs, from the chest out through your nose. So we'll inhale in through the nose, into the chest. Rib cage will expand out. Belly expands up. Exhale, breath out. Through the belly, through the ribs, through the chest, out through the nose. And please take this at your own pace. So if that breath doesn't quite want to reach the belly, that's okay. Breathe to where it feels comfortable for you to breathe to today. Continuing with this pattern of breath. So inhales are in through the nose, into the chest, the rib cage, the belly. Exhale, breaths from the belly, the rib cage, the chest, out through the nose. Your pace, your breath, your body, your class. And if focusing on your breath in this way does not feel good for you, or lengthening your breath, for some people it can really help to calm things down. So focusing on breath work can really help you to swap over in that nervous system. So from your fight and flight to your rest and digest. For others, it can actually create a little bit more anxiety with that, if you're forcing that breath to lengthen. So if that is happening for you, please don't force it. Maybe you just come back to scanning through your body and focusing on your awareness that way. If you're working with those breaths, let's do one more round in through the nose. Fill all the way up into the belly. Exhale, breath, release the air all the way out through the nose. Beautiful. Staying on your back, I'm going to join you guys now. We're going to move into our banana asana, which just means, well, asana is like your physical shapes in yoga, so your poses. And this shape, can you guess? It looks like a banana. So banana asana is the name of the pose. So we're gonna lie ourselves down. Oh, you guys are there already. Let's just take a nice big point through the fingers and a big point through the toes. We're going to start to walk our arms over towards the right side of the mat. And then from here, let's walk our legs over towards the right side as well, creating the shape of a banana. Notice how my hips are still down onto the mat. So we don't want to roll onto our side here. We want to keep the hips down. Just walk the hands and walk the feet over to the same side of the mat. So this is going to create a little bit of a stretch sensation perhaps for you through the side body. If you want a little more, maybe the left foot lifts up and crosses over the right. And just staying here. Noticing where you can feel sensation, where you can feel a stretch. And perhaps it's not the sideways. Maybe you can feel this somewhere else. Staying for 2 more breaths. Very much unrushed breaths for me today. Just slow, steady breaths. And when you finish your 2 breaths, uncrossing that left leg if it is crossed over, really gently bring the feet back in through the center and then the arms through the center. We'll take it over to the other side, so over towards the left with those arms and over towards the left with the feet, crossing the right leg maybe over the left. You can gaze over towards the left. You could stay gazing up. Maybe it feels better to gaze to the right. You guys choose what feels right in your body. Explore. Hips are staying down, finding some length here. Perhaps you can feel a stretch under your armpit, the hips. Maybe it's somewhere else completely. And staying for 2 more breaths, unrushed, your pace. And as you finish those 2 breaths, uncrossing your legs, walking your feet back first. And then your arms back through the center. So we're back onto our backs here. Let's draw the knees in towards the chest. Give ourselves a nice big hug, nice big squeeze here. And feel little rocks from side to side. So you might like to keep your head lifted like mine is here, drawing in towards the knees. Maybe it feels better to stay lengthened out through the spine, or through the top of the spine. And just drawing those knees in for a nice big squeeze. And from here, arms are coming out to the side of the room. Let's find our first twist for the spine. So we're going to draw the knees over towards the right side. You might hear a few little creaks and cracks. So gentle as you twist. You can keep both arms out to the side. I've just popped one hand under my head because it feels good for me in this position today. So feel free to move any way that you need to. Maybe your top leg begins to straighten out. How does that feel for you? Does it change things? Maybe the bottom leg's straightening out. Might feel better to stay with the knees stacked, one on top of the other. Just breathing here into the rib cage and see if you can feel that expansion, perhaps helping you to release a little bit of tension through the side body or through the back. Maybe it's the hips that you can notice here, the shoulders. Very gently use your inhale breath, bring the knees back through the center, and then taking them over to the other side. Your gaze can be wherever you like. It might be straight up towards the ceiling. Maybe it's over your right shoulder now. And again, exploring those options with your legs. And breathing into the rib cage, noticing if what you feel is different on this side to the other. Is there tension somewhere else in the body? Are you finding tension that you didn't know existed in your body today? Use your next inhale breath to gently come back through the center. Hugging those knees in. A few little circles if that feels good. So from one direction to the other. Then let's find our happy baby pose. So happy baby, the soles of the feet are up towards the ceiling here. And we're drawing our knees in towards our armpits. So that might mean your hands are here on your thighs. It might mean that your hands are reaching up to the calves, the outsides of the legs. Maybe you're reaching for the outside edges of your feet. And if so, you're drawing your tailbone down towards your mat. So you're lengthening out through your spine here as well. That feels too much, like for me today, that's really compressing quite a bit in through my upper thigh. So I'm going to take hold lower down the leg. It might feel really good for you to have your hands on the edges of your feet, so go for it if it does. A rock from side to side might feel nice. Maybe straightening one leg and then straightening the other leg. And when you are ready, let's straighten those feet back up towards the sky. And just flex and point through those toes. So toes back towards your face, toes up towards the ceiling, back towards the face, up towards the ceiling. So a few little movements here, stretching out through the tops of the feet. Backs of the legs lengthening. Tailbone is drawing down towards your mat. So this may create a little bit of engagement through your core as well, as your rib cage draws down towards your hips. Tail down. Stretch and point. And as you are ready, hugging those knees, begin to rock and roll up and down the length of the mat. So this can feel really nice for some people on their spine. If it doesn't feel good for you, just sit off to the side. We're all coming up to a seat or to a 4-point kneeling. So a few rock and rolls, do a few more if it feels good. And then we're coming up and over. So making your way up when you are ready to your 4-point kneeling position. So 4-point kneeling, we will have our wrists lined up underneath our shoulders and our knees underneath our hips. Now, if this is a little bit too much pressure on your knees, you can pop your blanket down and kneel onto that. It will just create some extra support, some extra padding there. So let's work through some cats and cows to begin with. Toes can either be tucked under or untucked, your choice. Moving with your breath as you inhale, let's drop the belly and begin to lift our gaze up. And then exhale, press through your hands, gaze between your knees, arching the spine. So inhale, breath, belly drops, gaze lifts up. You may feel a little stretch through the belly here, through the abdominals if they're a little bit sore, maybe into the back. And then pressing the ground away, arching the spine, separating those shoulder blades. Maybe the upper back's getting a nice release here. A few more rounds here. So just moving your pace in your way, maybe side to sides. Might feel good, maybe sitting back, coming forward. Just moving that spine from what we call extension into what we call flexion. So moving from one shape to another shape. And we're moving with our breath. So inhale, connect the breath with the movement. Exhale, connect the breath with the movement. Beautiful. From here, big toes come to touch. Knees nice and wide, finding your child's pose. Sinking your hips back towards your heels. Hands come out in front of you, forehead down. Other variations for your child's pose. You may have your blanket in front of you with your forehead resting down onto this. If you have knee issues, maybe you pop the blanket or the pillow between the feet and the hips. So choosing if you need any of those modifications. Otherwise, we're here. And staying for 2 more breaths in your child's pose, knowing you can come here anytime. If it's comfortable for you, child's pose is not comfortable for everybody. There might be a lot of tension. And when you're ready, let's come up to our 4-point kneeling position once again. And working to opening up through the upper body a little bit here now. So let's walk our hands forward. Keep the hips in line with those knees if you can, but walk your hands forward and bring your chest down towards the mat. So this is where you might still like to have that blanket underneath the chest perhaps. Just breathing into that shape. Keeping a little bit of activation, engagement through the muscles as well. So not just dumping into the shoulders. Try to stay a little active through the hands. When you are ready, be very gentle, press into your hands to come up. Walking your hands back underneath the shoulders. Coming in to thread the needle as you inhale. Let's reach the arm up towards the sky. Exhale, just place the hand back down. We're going to do a few of these before we thread underneath. So inhale, breath, lift the right arm up towards the sky. Gaze up if it feels okay. Exhale, place the hand back down. Inhale, breath, lift up, gaze up. Exhale, breath, placing that hand back down. One more here. Inhale, lift up, gaze up. Exhale, bringing that hand back down. I said one more, but we do need to do another one so we can thread underneath. So let's inhale, reaching up. As you exhale, we're threading the right arm underneath the body, through and underneath the left arm, and then bringing your cheek down towards the mat. If it doesn't reach, use your blanket. Maybe this feels enough. You want to stay here. Perhaps it feels good to walk your left arm forward, or maybe finding your left hand back, finding your right hip crease, opening the left shoulder up towards the sky. Staying for 2 breaths. Bringing your hand back underneath the shoulder, press the ground away with the left hand, reach the right arm up another time and place the hand back down. Let's move to the left side. So inhale, lift your left arm up, reach up, gaze up if it feels good, and then bringing your hand back down. Inhale, reach up, gaze up. Exhale, hand comes back down. Inhale, reach up, gaze up. Exhale, placing the hand back down. One more and then we'll thread the needle. Inhale, reach up, gaze up. Exhale, place hand back down. Here we go. Inhale, reach up, gaze up. Exhale, threading it through on the other side. So left cheek down, left arm under right. Perhaps staying here, maybe reaching forward with the right arm. Maybe binding the right arm back behind you, finding your left hip crease and then opening the shoulder up towards the sky. And breathe. Gently removing any binds, or bringing that right hand back to its start position. Press the ground away, reach up with the left hand and placing it back down. Beautiful work. Find our first downward facing dog here. So walking to the top of your mat if you're not there already. In your 4-point kneel position, the hands are underneath the shoulders, knees are underneath the hips. Tuck your toes under here. And when you are ready, we're going to press through our hands and send our hips up nice and high towards the sky. So finding your very first downward facing dog today. Begin to pedal out through the feet so you can drop one heel. And then the other. So bend one knee, drop one heel. Bend other knee, drop the opposite heel. Pedaling out your feet, walking out your downward facing dog, we like to call this. Then a few big bends of the knees, so bend both knees and the hips high a few times here. We're finding some length from the crown of the head to the tailbone, so we really want to find that length first in the spine. I will also say this probably every time we move into our first down dogs in classes. We're just making sure that that length is there in the spine as our first priority, and then once you've got that, you can begin to drop your heels down towards your mat, but they don't have to touch. So if it feels better to keep the bend in the knees, keep it there. Otherwise, straightening out through the backs of the legs, dropping the heels down. And staying engaged through the core, as well as those shoulders. So rolling your armpits inwards towards the body. Nice and strong here in your downward facing dog. Then let's gently inhale, roll forward, find a plank position and drop your knees down here. As you exhale, press back to your downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward, find your plank position and drop your knees down. Exhale, press your hips back, downward facing dog. One more time, inhale, roll forward, drop your knees down. Exhale, press it back. And gently beginning to walk your feet up towards your hands. We're going to find our forward fold at the top of the mat. So you might feel good having a nice big bend in your knees and just letting your belly rest onto your thighs. Maybe your arms are interlaced here. And you're ragdoll with your head down, shaking yes and no. Perhaps your hands are bound behind you, or opening up through the chest. You can make some little movements, that was good. Moving whatever way feels good for you in your forward fold. Then let's press through our feet, roll all the way up to standing, palms touch, up overhead, gaze up. Exhale, slowly fold forward. Let's do a few more of these. So slow and with your breath, press through your feet, inhale, roll all the way up and then bring your palms up to touch overhead, nice big reach up towards the sky. And then exhale, fold forward. Inhale, press through your feet, rise all the way up, palms touch overhead. Exhale, fold. Moving at your own pace. It might feel good to move a little quicker here. If you feel dizzy, please don't. And one more, inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Good, some halfway lifts here. As you inhale, lift just your chest. Hands are coming to your shins, or perhaps they're staying on the ground here. So we're lifting and opening the chest up and then folding forward. Inhale, lifting, finding length through the spine here. So nice flat back and then fold. Inhale, nice flat back and fold. Press through your feet, rise all the way up once more. And hands come to heart. Beautiful. Finding a side bend in our standing position now. So let's inhale, reach up. I'm going to take hold with our left hand onto our right wrist. And then begin to fold over towards the left side. So you'll look like this at the top of your mat. Or your variation of. And just staying with this for a couple of breaths, finding lots of length here as you reach on your inhale and fold on your exhale. Inhale, breath, come back through the center, swap over your grip. So you take hold of your left wrist with your right hand and fold. So folding over now to the other side. So you will look like this. And then we inhale, find length. Exhale, fold. Continuing with that, stay for another breath here. Use your inhale breath to come back through the center and fold forward. Let's place your hands down. We're going to step both feet back and find our downward facing dog. With your inhale breath, roll it forward here. Drop your knees down and then lower your chest all the way onto the mat. Your next inhale breath, lifting just your chest away from the mat. The hands are staying planted down here, tops of your feet pressing down, thighs are pressing down. Just inhale, lift just your chest, baby cobra. Exhale, lower. Inhale, just the chest. Exhale, lower. Now it might feel good for you to stay with this. Maybe you want to walk your hands out to the edges of your mat, so off your mat, and work into this from here. So maybe lifting a little higher as you inhale, pressing through the fingertips, lifting the chest, and exhale, folding forward. Inhale, opening up, lifting the chest. So nice stretch for the back body as well as the front body here, compressing through the spine. Strong through your core, squeezing the shoulder blades together, separating the shoulder blades down. A few more here. And last one, inhale, lift up. Exhale, fold. Pressing through your hands, tuck your toes. Downward facing dog. Good. Inhale, lift your right leg towards the sky. We're going to bend our knee here and open up through the hip. So our right knee comes up towards the sky and we gaze underneath the left shoulder. So if you can search for that foot. Drawing your left heel down, breathing here. And squaring back off through the center, placing the foot down. Lifting the left leg up towards the sky, bending the knee, opening up, left knee, reaching out to the ceiling, gaze under the right armpit. And coming back through center. Inhale, lift your right leg, staying square this time. Exhale, we're drawing the knee towards the nose and we're rounding the spine here. We're going to step through. Your right foot comes towards your right wrist. If that's not available to you, just come into this high lunge position anyway. That feels comfortable. Inhale, lift your arms up towards the sky. Exhale, soften into your lunge. Breathing here, gazing forward. Inhale, reach up towards the sky. Exhale, warrior two. So we're going to rotate here. Back heel comes down. Keep the bend in the front knee. And gazing over your front fingertips, soften your shoulders here. Warrior two. So nice big bend. Check your knees not rolling in here, keeping it out in line. Let's inhale, flip the front palm. Keep the front knee as it is. Reversing your warrior. We're painting the ceiling with the top hand. As we gently slide the left hand down the back of the back leg here. Gazing wherever you feel comfortable, maybe down, maybe forward, maybe up. Breathing here. Inhale, float back through the center. Straightening your front leg. Perhaps stepping forward slightly with the back leg and finding triangle pose. So we want to keep the front leg fairly straight, little bend if you need it. And then the inside of your right hand is going to be facing forward. As you bring your left arm up, the right hand slides down the inside of the right leg. Keeping your gaze forward, neck nice and neutral, breathing here. Inhale, breath, come back through the center. Find your warrior two once again. And then rotating your back toes to face the front, high lunge. Hands come down, frame your front foot, step forward, forward fold. Hands come down onto your mat, step back, downward facing dog. We're going to move through the other side, so if you need to, make your way to your lunge any way that you need. If that's standing up, go for it. If you want to try the step through action, as you inhale, lift your left leg. As you exhale, draw your knee towards your nose, cross the ground away and step your left foot towards your left hand. Press through your feet, rising up. Inhale, exhale, soften. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, warrior two on the other side. Big bend into that left knee. Hands out to the side, soften the shoulders down, and then gaze over your front fingertips. Inhale, flip your front palm. Reverse warrior, check the front knee, keeps a nice bend. Gazing up or forward or down. Inhale, come back through the center. Straighten your front leg. If you need to step forward a little, shorten your triangle. Left palm facing forwards. Right arm up. Sliding the left palm down the inside of the left leg. Reaching up. Gazing forward. Triangle. inhale, come back through center, bend into your front knee, warrior two. Come back coming back, through your high lunge, and then placing your hands down. Let's step forward, forward fold. Press to your feet, inhale, come up. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, plant your hands, step back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward here. Plank position, option to bring your knees down or stay high. And then downward facing dog. Inhale, coming forward. Exhale, down dog. Good. Inhale, rolling forward. Dropping your knees down and then lowering all the way onto your mat. Beautiful. From here, let's bring our legs together. And our arms back behind us. We're going to point our fingers back down. As you inhale, let's lift the chest. And breathe here. See if you can keep pressing the tops of your feet down, reaching back behind you. Stay for 2 more breaths. And lower. Just bringing one ear down onto your mat. Resetting here. And then moving into one more round of this. Option to do this exactly as you did, or option to add to this and squeeze your legs together. We're going to lift the legs as well. So reaching the arms back behind you. Maybe you're interlacing your hands. It might feel really good to open the shoulders up with an interlace. And then let's reach back. Inhale. Lift the legs, lift the arms. Or maybe just those arms with the feet staying down. Breathing here. Gazing forward, protect the neck. 2 more breaths. Coming out whenever you need to. And when you finish, lowering down. Perhaps the opposite ear coming onto the mat now. And then when you're ready, we're just going to roll over onto our back really gently here. So making your way onto your back. Coming down here onto your mat. And then crossing your right foot on top of your right knee. And perhaps this is enough of a stretch here for you through your hips as you draw the right knee away from the body. Maybe it feels better for you, it creates more intensity if you're looking for that. So interlace the hands behind the left thigh. And then continue to draw the left thigh in towards you as you draw the right knee away from the body. Breathe in here. And then really gently beginning to release the left foot down. Uncross the legs. Cross the opposite foot on top of the opposite thigh. Say left foot on top of right thigh. And finding your variation of the stretch on the other side. So just be gentle with your body. One side may feel different to the other. Generally, this is a stretch for the hips. You may also feel perhaps some sensation through the hamstring. And gently releasing when you are ready. And just bringing those legs up towards the ceiling once more. A few little gentle flexors and points of the toes. And taking any last little movements that you need to before we end our practice today. And if you have a little more time, just finding a comfortable position. Perhaps bringing the soles of the feet together and the knees out nice and wide. You can prop your knees up with your pillows to support here, perhaps. Any comfortable way for you to just take a little moment here to end your practice. Closing down your eyes, noticing how you're feeling now. Just allowing the breath to breathe itself and just be here in this moment. If you have more time, please feel free to stay here as long as you need to. On your back, in your relaxation. If it is time to end your practice, coming up to a seated position just in your own time. So feel free to stay there if you've got the time and you want to stay a little longer as I end the practice, that is fine. And thank you guys for joining me today for Gentle Flow. I look forward to guiding you through your Gentle Flow practice next week. Enjoy the rest of your week. Namaste.